Now let's simplify what we have got in this first paragraph. Mouth contains teeth. Teeth is mainly help in crushing of the food we take. Again, mouth has salivary glands. This salivary glands releases saliva. Saliva contains salivary amylase. This salivary amylase breaks down the complex carbohydrate that is starch into a bit simple carbohydrate. Clear everyone? This much we got till now, and I hope this is clear. Now let's coming to the next paragraph. It is necessary to move the food in a regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. The lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. These peristaltic movements occur all along the gut. Now, let's learn about how the food. Suppose this is a human mouth, this is your stomach. How the food moves from here to here. Because this the wall, let's simplify. The wall of the cross section, this is a cross section. Wall contains various muscles and layers within the alimentary canal. This is the wall of the alimentary canal. Now these muscles, in your higher class you will get various nerve endings which are called plexuses are there. Okay, for the timing you just learn there are various muscles which contract. Okay, if this is the alimentary canal, the contraction movement will be like this. They will contract and the food will first go into this part, next contraction the food will go in this part and this part. Like that food will move to the alimentary canal. And this movement of the wall is called peristaltic movement. I hope it's clear to everyone now what is peristaltic movement. In your higher classes, you will get various layers of muscle in the alimentary canal. We will discuss this in class 11 biology book also. Now, from the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through food pipe, the alimentary canal or esophagus. The stomach is a large organ which expands when the food enters it, and the muscular wall of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. Now, here in the picture, you see this is the tongue they are referring for mixing the mouth or buccal cavity, and this structure is called as esophagus. Through the esophagus from the mouth, the food enters to the stomach. In this paragraph, they are saying when the food enters in the stomach gets expanded or expands when the food enters it. Here it is written. So stomach get expanded. And stomach with the help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. As we have got in the mouth, saliva contains one digestive juice that is salivary amylase. Other things also present in saliva for bactericidal. Bactericidal means bacteria killing purpose, but for the time being in your NCERT it's mentioned that saliva contains salivary amylase, so you remember that. And the stomach also contains some digestive juices, and in the stomach the food is mixed with those digestive juices to break down the food further. Now let's come to the next paragraph. The digestion in the stomach is taken care of by the gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach. These release hydrochloric acid, a protein digesting enzyme called pepsin, and mucus. The hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. What other functions do you think served by the acid? The mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal condition. Now let's understand the function of hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and the mucus as they have mentioned in your book. Now this is your stomach. Stomach has various parts. You will get in your class 11, that is fundus, body, and the antrum. Now let's focus what we need for you in class 10. Now they say there are various gastric glands present in along the wall of the stomach. You got my point? There are various gastric glands. These gastric glands, you will get the name of these gastric glands in your class 11 biology, but for the time being, you just remember like gastric glands. These gastric glands secretes hydrochloric acid HCl plus pepsin plus mucus. Let's understand the function of each of them. Okay. Now HCl is there in the stomach. So HCl is highly acidic. Its pH is around 2. So it's highly acidic. So to protect the stomach wall or mucosa means the outer layer, stomach wall, they secrete mucus. Mucus here coats the stomach. So the acid cannot reach the wall. If the acid reaches the wall, what will happen? Ulcer, perforation, etc. So it is very dangerous, you see. So to protect the stomach wall from the HCl, mucus is there. It is a barrier. You remember? Okay. I hope you understand up till this much. Now let's talk about the enzyme pepsin. You have to remember this pepsin is a protein digesting enzyme. Earlier what we got? Salivary amylase, which digests the starch part, the carbohydrate part. Now the pepsin digests the protein part. Now this pepsin has a specific criteria. You have to remember like protein has P, so pepsin also has P. So pepsin, protein. Now this pepsin has a specific criteria that it works in acidic medium. As it works in acidic medium, so the HCl provides the acidic medium. Now you understand what I was trying to say and function of each of these secreted by the gastric glands. Do you understand now? This protein pepsin works in, let's simplify this, works in acidic environment, which is provided by HCl. So in presence of HCl, pepsin will work. But due to HCl is very acidic, stomach wall is protected by mucus. You understand now? Everything is interrelated. Okay. If any doubt, you can ask me in my Instagram handle. Now let's go to the next page and see what is there in your next page. Now see, they are saying about the acidic. Oh, there was a question in your last page about what are the other things this HCl. Other things of HCl. HCl is very acidic, so it can also help in the bactericidal action or killing the bacteria. As it is very acidic, so they cannot survive in this acid. Now let's go with the next page. I've often heard adults complaining about acidity, and this can be related what has been discussed above. The exit of food from the stomach is regulated by sphincter muscles. Sphincter muscles. Sphincter means a like valve-like structure. When it contracts, it closes the way, and when it expands, the road is open. Now, sphincter muscle, you remember this term, which releases it in small amounts into the small intestine. This sphincter muscle in the stomach, which is present in the antrum part, this regulates the entrance of the food into the stomach, that is in the duodenum part. It's clear? In the duodenum part. From the stomach, the food now enters into the small intestine. And just remember, small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, which is pitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. Small intestine is the longest part. But due to this extensive coiling, it fits in a very small space. It takes very small space. The length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending on the food they eat. So this alimentary canal length varies because you see some animals they eat meat or they are carnivores. Carnivores means meat eating animals. In them, the meat is easier to digest because meat has got protein part in it. And the carnivores like tigers have smaller or shorter small intestine. But herbivores eating grasses need a longer intestine to allow cellulose to be digested. Cellulose is very hard to be digested. So the herbivores need a longer canal, alimentary canal. You get this point? The cellulose is present in the plants, grass, roots, and this cellulose is very hard to be digested, and that's why herbivores needs longer alimentary canal. But carnivores like tigers, they eat meat, and meat is much easier in comparison to with the cellulose to digest. That's why they need a smaller alimentary canal. I hope this is clear. Now, the small intestine is the site of complete digestion. You remember this term. Site of complete digestion is small intestine, and what they digest: carbohydrate, protein, and fats. Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. It receives the secretions of the liver and pancreas for the purpose. Now, liver and pancreas to organs, and these secretions go to the duodenal part and the small intestine for digestion. Now let's see how does digestion take place. The food coming from the stomach is acidic because I told you about HCl, and it has to be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to act. Now, pepsin has a criteria in stomach. Pepsin has a criteria that it needs acidic environment. But the pancreatic enzymes need much alkaline environment as compared to the pepsin. So, the food which was firstly acidic, now it has to be shifted to alkaline so that pancreatic enzymes can work. Understand now? Is it clear to everyone why the food needs to be alkaline? Now let's see. Bile juice from the liver accomplishes this in addition to acting to the fats. Fats are present in the intestine in the forms of large globules which make it difficult for enzymes to act them. Bile salts break them down into smaller globules, increasing the efficiency of the enzyme to action. This is similar to emulsifying action of the soaps and dirt we learned about chapter 4 of you will learn this in your chemistry class. Now let's understand the function of bile and how it helps in digestion. This is liver. It has gallbladder in it, cystic duct, hepatic duct, common bile duct. Now, these livers, as these structures individually you will get in your class 11 biology. For the time being, you just remember liver secretes bile. This bile has dual function. One, it makes alkaline environment, and this bile helps in fat absorption. By how? The salts presence. Bile contains bile salts. Now, bile salts helps in it is a fat molecule, larger fat molecule into smaller fat molecules. How these smaller fat molecules will help in their digestion? Now you see, a larger fat molecules has this much of surface, so enzyme will act in this much of area, but smaller globules of fat, you see the surface area has increased now, so digestive enzyme can digest them in a very easily in compared to the previous larger molecules. So bile helps in this to function, and I hope you it's clear how bile helps in digestion and the food uh, making the food alkaline. Is it clear? Okay. Now come to the pancreatic secretion. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. You remember pancreatic juice. The various enzymes, the biocatalysts present in the pancreatic juice, you will get in your class 11 book. For the time being, you remember as a whole, pancreatic juice is secreted by pancreas, which contains enzyme like trypsin for digesting proteins. For proteins, till now we have got two enzymes. One was pepsin, which was in stomach. Now we are getting trypsin, which is from pancreatic juice. And pancreatic juice also contains lipase for breaking down emulsified fats. Fat emulsification was done by earlier, as I have told you, this bile. Now this emulsified fat, the smaller molecules of fat, that is emulsified fat, is has been acted upon by lipase. You have to remember fat means lipid. Lipid has got L and lipase has got L. So lipase acts on lipid, that is fat, that is emulsified fats. Earlier fats were have been acted upon by the biles. Now they are further breaking down with the help of lipase. You remember these 2 points. It's very, very important. The wall of small intestine contains glands which secrete intestinal juice. Now we talked about pancreatic juice, right? Now let's talk about intestinal juice. The enzymes present in it finally convert the proteins to amino acids, complex carbohydrate to glucose, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, now intestinal juice finally converts the already smaller protein, carbohydrate, and fats into amino acid. These are the units of protein, amino acids. Glucose, these are monosaccharide, that is the smaller form of carbohydrate, and fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Now let's see the individual digestion of these substances to make it simplified. What's that? Now start with protein. Protein was first acted by pepsin. Remember, to make it simpler proteins with the help of HCl. After that, protein is the simpler proteins, the smaller proteins further acted upon by the pancreatic juice, which contains trypsin. This trypsin again due to further protein breakdown. And when finally acted upon by the intestinal juice to convert it into amino acid. You remember this chart? You can write this in your board examination like this flow chart. It will be very, very helpful. So protein digestion is done. Now coming to the fat digestion, fat molecules. They have been first acted upon by the bile, make them emulsified fat, which has larger surface area. Now these emulsified fats are further broken down by the pancreatic juice, which contains lipase. This lipase breaks down into smaller fat molecules, and these smaller fat molecules are again being acted upon by the intestinal juice, which makes them in fatty acid and glycerol. Now this fat digestion is completed. I hope you understand this, and this flowchart will help you. You can pause this video and again understand the flowchart. This will help you, I guess. So protein, fat is done. Now come to the carbohydrate. that is starch, which was first acted upon by the salivary amylase. This salivary amylase makes them into smaller carbohydrate. This smaller carbohydrate has been also acted upon by what? You remember this? Let's try to remember this. If you don't remember, check the paragraph. Just try to remember what was that. Smaller carbohydrate molecules has been acted upon by the intestinal enzymes to make it glucose, the units of carbohydrate. So now it's understand. Now do you understand now how this is happening? Okay. Digested food. Now coming to the paragraph. Digested food is taken up by the walls of intestine. The inner lining of the intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which increases the surface area of absorption. The villi are richly supplied with the blood vessels that absorb the food and eats every cell of the body, where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up of new tissue, and repair old tissue. Now now the wall of the intestine contains finger-like projections. These projections are nothing but your villi. And in your higher class, you will get this finger-like projection also has some finger-like projections in them. This is called microvilli. Now, for the time being, you just remember about villi, and this villi increases the surface area. So food molecule will come and can be absorbed in all the direction. If these villi were not present, if it was a flat surface, then the surface area is very, very less. So this villi increases the surface area and absorb the food molecules. Here the blood vessels are present and this food is getting absorbed by these blood vessels and transported in various cells for and obtain energy. Now, what about the unabsorbed food? Unabsorbed food is sent into large intestine where its wall absorbs more water and its material, and rest of the material is removed from the body via anus. The exit of this waste material is regulated by anal sphincter. You have to remember this anal sphincter. Now, wall of large intestine, what they do? What they do? They do absorb water. You have to remember the function of wall of large intestine. And the exit of the food is controlled by anal sphincter. Otherwise, you will have to sit it in your toilet whole day. And this anal sphincter regulates the movement of the food outside. Now coming to the dental caries. Dental caries or tooth decay causes gradual softening of enamel and dentin. These enamel and dentin present in the teeth. It begins when bacteria acting on sugars produce acids and softens and demineralizes the enamel. Masses of bacterial cells together with the food particles stick to the teeth from dental plaque, and saliva cannot reach the tooth surface to neutralize the acid, and plaque converts the teeth. Brushing of teeth after eating removes plaque before bacteria produces acids, and if untreated, microorganisms may invade pulp and causing inflammation and infection. This is nothing but the teeth has enamel and dentin in it. If the bacteria resides here after eating food and if you do not brush, they produce acid. This acid will demineralize the enamel and dentin part, and they will absorb these parts, and inflammation, that means swelling, pain, etc. will occur due to this dental caries. And this acid producing bacteria only be stopped when you regularly brush your tooth after eating food. Is this clear, guys? I hope you like this elementary canal video. There are two parts of it, one smaller one larger one. I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like it. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much.